I'm Olek Novak, this is Chasing Cars, and today we are hundreds of kilometres away from our regular Chasing Cars test track in Sydney. We've come here to a pretty picturesque location in the Flinders Ranges in South Australia because we have joined Isuzu on their premier iVenture expedition to the Flinders Ranges on a 3-day trip. Now, this is an awesome opportunity to get some expert tutelage in four-wheel driving, so we're going to be doing that in this, the 2024 facelifted Isuzu D-Max Ute. As well as that, we're going to be putting a lot of new features of the new D-Max to the test, such as the rough terrain mode. So get ready for the adventure. There's going to be a lot of crazy four-wheel drive action, a lot of intense landscapes, and some pretty stunning scenery. But before we do all of that, make sure you hit like, subscribe, the notification bell below, and follow us on TikTok and Instagram for daily content and lots of behind-the-scenes videos too. Chasing Cars, honest reviews of your next car.
Brought to you by
The iVenture Expedition is an Isuzu-run customer training program that allows Isuzu owners to take their vehicles on off-road trips around Australia under the watchful eyes of four-wheel driving instructors. The Flinders Ranges Expedition is one of their biggest, and our lead instructor across the trip is David Wilson. So stay tuned as I share some of the key things that I learned as we tested out the D-Max across 3 key challenges that you're going to see today: a steep descent, an articulation challenge, and some red sand. Will the Isuzu D-Max make it? Well, keep watching. Our trusty steeds for the media contingent on the trip are 3 new D-Maxes, an X-Terrain, X-Rider, and LSU Plus, which we jumped around between during the trip. Before we get into our first challenge, here's just a quick summary of what's changed for the facelifted D-Max. With the facelift that has come to the D-Max, it's not reinventing the wheel. Basically, the whole philosophy was to keep what was good about the D-Max as much as possible, but also make some key improvements to customer feedback and elements like that. So some of the key headline changes that Isuzu has made, apart from some of the styling tweaks at the front and also the back, have been the fact that the interior has been upgraded, some of the safety systems have been tuned to be better calibrated for Australian conditions. We've got a bigger central touchscreen here. The top spec models have a bigger 7-inch screen here in between the 2 analog dials, and of course the main screen here is 9 inches on this model. The cabin, typical Isuzu, really hefty, durable. It's a good place to be on a journey like this. For more details on the facelifted D-Max, make sure to check out our full review. All right, and we are about to begin. So we've met up with a whole bunch of Isuzu owners who are joining us on our iVenture Flinders Ranges expedition. We have just grabbed some lunch and we are now going to make our way from Hawker to our first four-wheel drive track. But now it was time to get down and dirty as we head toward our first challenge for the D-Max. First step, deflating our tyres to 20 psi to reduce the chance of any tyre punctures over the rocky bits we're going to be navigating. All right, time for our first stop. We are now off-road, our tyre pressure is deflated and we're heading to the Wowee Track at the Myrna station. We began making our way toward the Myrna station's Wowee Track, one of the most scenic tracks on the western side of the ranges, getting ready to navigate steeper terrain.
So folks, at the moment high range is okay, so we're just going to putt our way across this opening stanza of the track.
The facelifted D-Max still boasts some pretty impressive basic off-road credentials, whether it be 240mm ground clearance on some grades, an 800mm wading depth, and its trusty and dependable 3-litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel which delivers 140 kilowatts and 450 newton meters, mated to a 6-speed auto, which generally made most landscapes we traversed a breeze. But it was time for our first proper challenge in the D-Max and an opportunity to test out its hill descent control. We're going to do a steep descent now, so we've got hill descent control on. We are in first gear. We are in low range. Let's see how we go. Just waiting for our turn on the keys.
Good. All right, I'll have another one.
All right, let's do it. With the hill descent control on, I'm not using the brake at all. I'm just letting the car handle is using the hill descent control, and so far it's doing a really good job. You might be able to see this is very steep. Not sure how much that comes across on camera though. Hopefully you don't take out the videographers there. Resisting the temptation to put the brakes on. Oh, man.
Keep it straight.
Yeah, keep it straight. A few scratches there.
Nice and slow and steady, wins the race.
We made it. relatively unscathed.
Yeah, so the biggest learning for me with that one was that I had to resist the urge when we were going down that very steep descent and the car started sliding, going a bit faster, to resist the urge to brake. But when I trusted the hill descent control, the D-Max handled it with complete aplomb. So you don't need to put your faith in the cars because they're very capable vehicles, and we got through that with a lot of ease. So on to the next one now.
But before moving on to the next challenge, it was time for a quick breather as we soaked up the view and watched the rest of our convoy navigate the descent. All right, let's check out how some other Isuzus are tackling the descent. So the tracks are getting deeper with every car that passes it, so it's probably actually getting even more challenging. We've got a MUX coming through, so let's see how it performs. Oh, we can hear the echoes. Now it was time to start testing out some of the new features of the facelifted D-Max, including rough terrain mode, which is essentially an advanced traction control system that clamps down at a lower RPM in order to reduce wheel spin and give more traction. David got the convoy to try navigating the ascent using regular traction control, which intervenes at about 1200 RPM. There was noticeable wheel spin because of the loose surface, but rough terrain mode was then engaged. It uses a different engine speed algorithm and essentially clamps down at a lower RPM of about 800 to 900, and that helped significantly. Now it was time to give the D-Max a go in rough terrain mode again, but this time to test out its articulation as we navigated our next tricky trail. All right, rough terrain mode is engaged. We're about to be the last ones to go through what seemed like a really difficult section. It doesn't look that difficult, but other people have obviously struggled, so let's see how we go.
Start your left-hand turn now. So left, come on, get the steering around the corner there. That's the idea. Stay left, 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 stay left. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. All right, start to cycle back towards me now with the steering. Not too far though. Yep, hold that angle. All right. So millimetre by millimetre, let's lift that left-hand front corner up. So just a little bit of gas and stay straight for the moment. That's good. Now come around to me. Start to steer right, right. Not too much. Keep doing that, keep doing that, keep doing that. Keep doing that. And you're out. Oh, well done.
Okay. We made it. All right, there you go. Some expert tutelage from David. Might not have looked too challenging from the outside, but you could definitely feel the car pivoting in each direction. But obviously, with David's help, we navigated it pretty expertly. So far, so good. Let's see what's up ahead of us. Another day of challenges completed. It was time to reinflate our tyres, and David showed us a little trick.
So we're now reinflating the tyres, and David is going to show me a bit of a party trick.
Yeah, so we've got the compressor at work. You can hear it humming away in the background. But have a look at these. The good thing with the new models is that as we're reinflating, this will pulse at a regular basis. And when we get up to placarded pressures, it'll give us 3 quick beep, beep, beeps, and 3 flashes, and then we know we're good to go.
Awesome.
But the tyres weren't reinflated for long. It was time for some red Outback sand. So we're now tackling some sand dunes at Nilpena, and we're in 4-wheel drive low range. We've got the D-Max that we're in drive. We're still in the X-Rider. We're going to be coached through some tricky sandy terrain, so let's see how we go. We had varying results on the sand with a mixture of skill levels and vehicle types, but overall the D-Max handled the red with aplomb. David gave me some good tips too, including some key takeaways for sand driving. Firstly, tyre pressure is everything. David said that starting with 18 or 15 PSI is not a bad thing to do, but also added the caveat that in an age where people want to run on 18 or 20-inch wheels, they don't work particularly well in this environment in low-pressure situations, especially if you're too aggressive with the steering, so he said that you want to make all your turns broad and gentle. His next big tip, try to keep the front wheels pointing as directly forward as much as possible. Sure, there's going to be need to change direction every now and then, but keep them forward as much as possible as there's less resistance if the wheels aren't turning. Just following the tracks in front of me and maintaining constant momentum. Definitely a bit bouncy and feels a bit loose, but D-Max is doing it. Oh yes, we did it! David's last big tip. Modern cars have modern traction electronics working through the brakes, and if you are in high range and trying to slog through an environment like this, the car is likely to bog down unless you find the stability control button and make sure to switch it off to ensure those systems don't break the slipping wheels. That'll help you have happy days in the sand. So across 3 days of 4-wheel driving, how'd the D-Max go? Well, overall, it performed very well across a range of scenarios, from getting us from Adelaide to the Flinders Ranges on the highway, to navigating the steep descents, ascents, dips, rocks and sands we threw at it. I can understand why the Ute, while not the most technically advanced on the market, does attract a strongly devoted niche because of its rugged, user-friendly nature that definitely seems at home in harsh Australian landscapes.
Good. Keep coming around. Now hold that steering angle, mate, and aim for me. I want you to run me over.
And there you have it, the Isuzu iVenture at the Flinders Ranges, all finished. Well, technically we've got a bit more to go today in our third day, but it feels appropriate to finish on top of a beautiful, incredible mountain peak again. So I'm gonna wrap up now, but thank you very much for coming along this expedition, coming along for the ride, this adventure with us. I know I certainly have learnt a lot about four-wheel driving, about my capabilities, what I can, what I can't do, and it's been fantastic to get a taste of what iVenture offers and also getting a sense of what these four-wheel drives are capable of. So it's fantastic that Isuzu offers an experience like this where you can buy the vehicle and then learn how to use it properly. So hopefully more manufacturers can offer something like this. It's also been fantastic to just see some incredible parts of this country. So very cool experience. Hope you have enjoyed the journey. Make sure to give us a follow on TikTok and Instagram for daily content, lots of behind the scenes videos. If you haven't already, make sure you give this video a like if you have enjoyed the adventure and hit subscribe and the notification bell. As always, thank you for watching. Chasing Cars.